I was overweight and in one of the darkest points in my life. Exercising truly changed my life and pulled me out of that dark pit that I was in. I was in that position before, being unmotivated to work out, waking up every morning, realizing that this is not me. Who is this person in the mirror? Why am I doing this? It was through kind people, research, and soul searching that I found my way through exercise. It's not for everybody. Everybody's gonna go through that cycle where they're not gonna want to work out or like they just want to stand in bed and not make a change or anything. But you have to make that conscious effort to get up every morning and say, I want to change.
Someone coming through my heart, I think it's frozen. How you bring a knife to a gunfight? They gon' always do it twice when it.
That introduction was so depressing. I did not mean to come off as a pessimistic person. I'm sorry, you guys. Now, you're probably scrolling through YouTube right now, trying to get that little quick entertainment before you head back to work or head back to the kids, whatever the reason may be. And you probably stumbled across my video. Well, let me introduce myself. My name is Justin Smith. I'm an exercise science student at Georgia State University, and I would like to welcome you all to the Pod with No Cast. On this podcast, we like to discuss various topics, that being from celebrity drama to the gas prices that you see in America today. And it's crazy. It costs $3.99 a gallon, almost $70 to fill my tank, and I drive a hybrid, people. Anyways, that's not the topic I want to talk to you guys about. The topic I want to get into today with you guys is a big issue I see in America today, and I'm pretty sure you guys see it around a lot too. And that issue is exercise. Specifically, how can we get more people to exercise? Now, I don't want to waste any time. I want to hop right into this topic. Let's dive right in. Now, to start off this discussion, we must ask ourselves, why do we exercise? Well, obviously, we do it to stay in shape and maintain good health, right? That's a general answer. And it is a good answer, too, because most people, I realize, don't understand the overwhelming benefits that exercise has on the body. Science has proven that exercise puts you in a better mood, reduces stress, reduces the likelihood of developing cardiovascular disease, and it just puts you in an overall better well-being. However, this does not answer the question entirely because the question itself is subjective. Everyone has their own reasons on why they exercise. My reason may be different from your reason. I may exercise to have a aesthetically pleasing look, while you may just exercise to just lose weight. No matter what, it does not have to be exercise. It's always a reason behind the action. This gets me into my main point of being motivated to do exercise. And the big issue I see today is a lot of people are not motivated to exercise. But why is that? You may see those people who come back from a long vacation eating unhealthy foods and they say, I'm going back to the gym. Or worse, you might see those New Year's resolution warriors who have that same resolution. I'm going to the gym for 3 months, 3 months consistently. I'm going to lose weight. Now, I'm not knocking it off. These are some good reasons that you may have to get you started on exercise. But a lot of the times, these are great starts, but usually you'll see a drop off. And the habit of exercising truly never lasts with these people, and they just go back to doing their old habits. We need to find better ways that people can get up and go exercise. It sounds easy when I say it, but it's not. Later in the show, I'm going to talk about different ways people can become motivated to exercise. But before that, I want to discuss how there can be many reasons as to why people do not stay motivated to continue exercising, especially in today's day and age with the ongoing pandemic of COVID 19. So, right now, I'm going to get into some psychological reasons of how our childhoods and the pandemic may have some effects on our exercise habits. I also want to touch base on some motivational characteristics in older adults, while also trying to offer you a new perspective on how to look at not only exercise but life as well. When looking at motivation, people usually rely on two main factors: internal motivation and external motivation. Internal motivation is an autonomy in oneself where they have a reason inside where they want to continue to do something, while external motivation is a type of motivation that relies heavily on an external source other than oneself. This can be a celebrity or something or someone that forces you to do a task or an obligation. A study from Liu in 2016 looked at two groups of students. Both were taking PE classes. One group was focused on the effects that a teacher with a positive outlook on exercise had on children, while the other group looked at the effects that a teacher with a negative outlook on exercise had. The results were interesting, to say the least. Students who had a teacher who had a positive outlook on exercise were more likely to have a positive outlook on exercise themselves and were continued to do exercise later on in life, while the teacher with the negative outlook had the direct opposite effect on the children. They are more likely to discontinue exercise later on in life and associate exercise with a negative connotation. Now I find this interesting because some people may not be exercising not because they don't want to, but because they have been instilled with the idea that exercise is bad at a young age. Teachers from a young age teaching them that exercise is something that they shouldn't be doing, which is terrible. It's very important that we are teaching kids at an early age the importance of maintaining exercising and presenting it in fun ways that they understand that exercise is not a bad thing. It is good for you. I was fortunate enough to grow up around PE teachers who had a positive outlook, and I was able to turn this into an exercise habit and continue it through my teenage and adult years. Now, in today's time where things are mostly online because of COVID-19, it can be hard to gain motivation through a screen. As many of you are aware, every day on the news there's a new COVID strain. Every week it seems. But before, all we knew was one COVID. And at this time, it was foreign to us. We were scared and didn't really know what to do unless the government told us something, which was to stay at home. The effect this had on people was detrimental. One of the effects that we saw was One of the effects that we saw on this in people was their exercise habits. A study by Mataji in 2020 looked at the effects that COVID-19 had on people's exercise routine. It looked at different ways people could continue to be motivated to exercise even during times of duress. First, it took a couple groups of people. One was people who had exercise habits before the pandemic even started, and the other was people who had little to no exercises before the pandemic started. It monitored their physical activity levels in three different time periods: pre, mid, and post. The evidence was surprising. It showed that people who had exercise habits before the pandemic started were likely to see a drop off in physical activity than those who previously had never exercised before. I found it fascinating because I expected the ones who had exercise habits to maintain them because they was already exercising, not the people who never exercised before to pick up some exercise habits. It shows the effects that it shows the effects that COVID-19 had on people's motivation. This is only a piece of the puzzle, showing that outside sources may have some impact on your habits, but really the only person that can discern what is good for you and what is bad for you is you. The type of motivation this is going to influence you the most and determine whether you want to do something is the motivation within. You can be inspired by as many people as you would like, from motivational videos to words of encouragement. But at the end of the day, you must find a reason in yourself of why you want to do this. I feel like you guys have had enough of these psychological effects on motivation. Now I want to get into actual ways that people can become more motivated. In the same study, Mataji looked at an app called eHealth, which is an app that was created where people could log on and interact with other users and hold each other accountable for exercise. The study looked at the effect it had on users and non-users and found that people who were on the app were more likely to see positive effects on their exercise habits, while the opposite was true for non-users. Another study by Kozak in 2013 looked at the use of gain frame messages and loss frame messages and the effects that it had on normal, overweight, and obese individuals. Fitness center attendance, combined moderate and vigorous activity and strength training. What are these messages? First of all, gain frame messages stress the benefits by presenting either positive results that will happen or negative consequences that will not happen, while loss frame messages present either negative consequences that will happen or positive results that will not happen. One has an optimistic view, while the other one has a pessimistic view. However, in the study, it showed that the groups that benefit the most were overweight and obese individuals from gain frame messages, while normal individuals saw little to no effects from either. These are just some ways and examples that you can find motivation through external sources. So these type of messages could have a positive reinforcement in your brain or something like that. But To me, I feel like the best way that people can stay motivated is to have a workout partner that holds you accountable, or join an online community with other various people that are looking to exercise. That way you can connect with these people and they can hold you accountable to keep exercising. It's kind of like always having that support system always in the back pocket that always motivates you to keep pushing forward, you know? But that's one way. Another study by Coco in 2018 took a look at the motivational characteristics and resistance training in older adults. The study was focused on individuals aged 65 to 74, and it took a look at four different control groups: resistance training once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, and 4 times a week. The results from this study were kind of upsetting because most of the individuals that did resistance training saw that they discontinued resistance training after the 1 year intervention, while 46% of them continued afterwards. That being said, resistance training can be a way that can offer you some sense of motivation, as it is shown to have some effects on self efficacy and internal validation. But like I said before, the really only true way for you to find motivation is to find a motivation within yourself. That being said, you have to really do some soul searching to find what it is that makes you tick and makes you want to lose that weight, maintain the health, you know? But I want to take a look at a new outlook that I found. It was a study done by Wong. Well, not a study, it was a paper written by Wong. It says agent causation is not prior to event causation. It's something Wong emphasized in this paper. He talks about how if our choices are caused deterministically, then we are not free. But at the same time, if our choices are not caused deterministically, then we are still not free. He then introduces the idea of agent causation and highlights the idea that choices are agent caused and are agent determined, and hence they are up to the agent, which is us as the individual. We can take this as people and understand exercise does not define or make us who we are, but instead we are the ones who control exercise. Exercise does not make us the healthy individual. It is us individuals that take the practice of exercise and we are healthy. The agent or substance, which is the person, defines the event, not the other way around. Think about the next time. Think about that the next time you want to start something new. It can really give you a new outlook on your end goal. I think these perspectives can be used by not only regular people but also exercise physiologists. Exercise physiologists can use these information to provide better understanding of individuals that are dealing with this problem with motivation. They can use this information to figure out whether a person is inclined more towards internal, external, or autonomy motivating factors. Then they can use this to build better prescription programs. Another thing that they might want to consider is using positive reinforcement that can help instill confidence in someone and encourage them to continue exercising on their own. It's easy for someone to listen to someone else tell them what to do and follow a routine because they have to. It's part of their plan. They have to follow it if they want to live a better life. But the main goal should be helping people better their lives, but also giving those people the valuable knowledge and wisdom so that they can develop their own sense of autonomy with exercise. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope I have shed some light on the issues that we face as a community, as well as provided some info that you can use for yourself whenever you are not feeling motivated to exercise. Remember that getting in the habit of exercise is not something that happens overnight. It is a process that many times requires you to have a lot of patience. On this journey, you may feel like quitting, but I'm here to tell you that there are better options. Motivation may be the biggest reason you don't want to work out, but find something that you can hold on to and hold you accountable. Go to that exercise class to put you in direction and make that conscious choice to be consistent when everything else is pointing towards the other way. It is hard, I know, not easy for everyone. The only person stopping you is you. Get out there, do the right thing. See you next time.